The TLDR, boys, is if it's true, it's an insanely, I mean, this is the best news I've literally ever heard in the game ever. That's what it is. That's how copage it is. Did you see this? Lost Ark Year 2. Wait, what is this copium article? This article is giga copium. Wait a minute. It's an interview? Okay. Hold on. Before we do it, everyone get ready. Ready for the tanks? Loosen up the tanks before we get into this. Everyone start inhaling that up. Here we go. Yeah, that's some good stuff there. You guys feeling, are we good now? Are we good? All right, that's enough. That's all you get. Relax. As Lost Ark Year 2 begins a worldwide audience, Amazon Game tells us it hopes to close the gap between the Western release and the Korean build of the fantasy MMO faster than players expect. So to this article's credit, this is what I was told at TwitchCon by some friends that worked there. However, then they released that roadmap, and that was not that. So I was like, huh? To this article's fair credit, that's what I was told. And then it was not that. Following the release of the Lost Ark Anniversary Update, developer Smilegate and publisher Amazon Games say that they are planning announcements soon to help bring the editions closer together. After the first year of release in the West, we feel great about the differences between the Korean and Western versions of the game. Amazon Games franchise leader Suman Park tells PC Games the worldwide release of Lost Ark is still some way behind. It's honest, and Park admits catching up to the Korean build is challenging. To be realistic, citing the time taken to localize the content from the Korean version. However, I can say that we're planning to greatly reduce the gap between the Western build and the Korean build in our second year compared to the first year. Adds that the speed of reducing the gap will be faster than what players expect, and new classes will be released at a faster pace than that of the continents and Legion raids. What is this, a fake article? Is this real? I mean, is this a I feel like as I'm reading this, can anyone make who's Ken Alsopop? Mars-based city builder to wait, what's this other article? Lost Ark's first year saw growing pains. Wait, I want to read these. Is this guy like the copium article writer? Wow, Dragonflight patch returns to Film Reach soon. He doesn't look like he has anything too crazy on here. Despite the differing schedules, Park tells us the Western release is better for it, saying it benefited greatly in general from the Korean version and how much polish Smilegate put into their game before it comes to our region. I mean, this is a little bit true. And when I mean polish, I don't mean that. The one thing that Lost Ark at least had a benefit over, like any game that comes out, I mean, what is like the biggest gamba in any game that comes out nowadays for most people? I still think you can enjoy games for what they are, and if you've got the money lying around and gaming is a hobby for you, then you can get a couple weeks worth out of fun of a game. It can be worth it for most people, right? I was talking to the people at the wedding about this too. However, like for the people that maybe are more invested in like a game's future, the biggest concern is always like the end game. The only benefit that Lost Ark had, although it's a double-edged sword, you literally know exactly what you're getting, which kind of sucks dick sometimes because you just know, then the guides come out and you know what the end game is and you know what's coming and you know how to beat the content. It kind of blows at the same light, but at least you know at the same time what you're getting. Like you know that this is the end game, right? Oh, these are the raids versus a game that comes out and you know nothing about the end game, right? Like where there's no end game. They don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a double-edged sword, right? With the ability to monitor how players handle content such as Legion raids and new content, Lost Ark players in the West are able to benefit from years of refinement and improvement of content. Who is this guy? How have I not seen Suman Park? Where's Suman Park at? I've never met no Suman Park, man. Who's Suman Park? I never seen no Suman Park, man. Any mod checks in the chat? Who's Mr. Park? Probably some made-up bozo. Wait, let's find out. No, he's real. He's real. Suman Park, franchise leader at Amazon Game Studios. Video games, executive development roots, and focus on social, MOBA, and microtransaction business model and online communities. This motherfucker is the one that's making these card packs, man. Ain't no goddamn way, Suman Park. Fix that shit, Mr. Man. I'm tired of this shit. Huh? This is him. It's actually him. Suman fucking Park. Nexon for 6 years? He's a Maple Andy. Holy shit, bro. He worked at Nexon for fucking almost 12 years. Ask Amazon for an interview with them. You think they're going to give me an interview with Mr. Suman Park, man? You think they're gonna let me fucking interview Mr. Suman Park? He'd be like, fuck you, bozo. I don't got time for that shit. I ain't got time for that shit, man. He's the NA Gold River hold. As for those who are looking to get into the game and are now worried they won't be able to catch up, Park reassures us there are plans for more improvements in regard to this. We are continuously discussing with Smilegate and will soon have an announcement on an update that will allow new players to catch up a bit faster, aside from existing tools like Power Pass and Hyper Express. Okay, dude, this is the biggest. All right, this sounds too good to be true. This sounds way too good to be true. This is a great article, but it sounds like I would be just inhaling the biggest copium take ever, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I made a video on this, it sounds like this is almost as bad as Lost Ark Respects Your Time. Like, if I made a video like this and I was, it's insane levels of copium, bro. This is Lost Ark Respects Your Time 2.0. That's literally what this is. Yeah, I'll go to the other article. All right, so what I heard from when I went to TwitchCon is that they were trying to make a big effort this year to close the gap. That's what they had told me. In the only way, which is exciting, let's go back to this. The only way to close the gap
shoulders, arms, and legs grow
is two ways, right? A,
Stoopzz flower.
You do the nerfs, the honing buffs that already exist, which they should do instantly. Okay, now I really want to see this roadmap in April. I actually really do. I really want to see this roadmap in April because it will literally show us, it will lay out if this is true or not. Because if the roadmap doesn't show Algacia like sooner, because okay, listen, I'm overdosing. I want to know. Is this a baloney article or not? No home cost of 1460. Yeah, but we need the 40% shard reduction to 1580, guys. That's what you need. What you need to get your little your little pitchforks and riots and ask for is the shard cost of 1580. So that way you can do Algacia sooner than having to wait forever for it. That's what you want. You want the shard cost reduction to 1580 so you can get to 1580 so you can do Algacia sooner, because you're just going to get time gated, right? Like, you're not going to be able to do it. Like, it's just you're not going to be able to do it. So that's one way they could do it, right? The other way that they could do it is literally just like give the West more shit, which is also really easy to do. Like, you could just like stop making the vendors feel El Cheapo and just give them hella shit. Like, just give them mats. You also could do that. The reason why I'm on copium for this, I assume that Amazon's not under they don't feel like they need to because they have these other games coming out. However, I think it's important for the game because I've said it time and time again. You know what I mean? In my opinion, as a Western player, I'd rather be bored waiting for content to be designed than waiting for content to be released that already exists. Does that make sense? It just feels worse knowing that this exists and I can't get it, and there's no reason they really couldn't give it to us. So I think speeding up would make me very happy, at least for the classes, you know? I think they should do the honing buff instant, like right away. You know what I mean? When April hits, drop the honing buff and do Algacia, honestly, 1 month after Hard Brel. Nobody wants to be fucking doing it. It gives you more ancient accessories. Nobody wants to be fucking doing Hard Brel for months. It doesn't sound fun. Drop the honing buff. Do it after Hard Brel. Or you could do Aeromancer the month after Hard Brel. So that would be May. June, do Algacia. July, do fucking Female Berserker. That's your big summer thingy. A con end of summer. And I would just juice it faster. There's no reason to not do it. Just milk the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? Milk the shit out of it, and then people don't have stuff to do. They get bored. At least they know there's not. They're just waiting for shit to come out. That's it. You know. All right. So here's another article by the same guy. It's been over a year since Lost Ark launched in the West. So this is called Lost Ark's first year saw growing pains, but Amazon has big plans. And the Korean-developed game has proven itself as one of the best MMOs on PC, despite series of teething issues, including server troubles and waves of bot accounts. I would say Lost Ark survived a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I thought Lost Ark would be honestly, I thought Lost Ark in the West would be Elion. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was going to be. As the second year kicks off, PC Games talks to Suman Park, franchise leader at Publisher Games, about what the team has learned, its future plans, and closing the gap between Lost Ark's regional versions. Very important, though. After 1 year of worldwide release, how does the team feel about the differences between Korea and worldwide versions over the first year? Have there been any notable changes you were forced to make, or areas you felt the worldwide release saw benefit from, things that you learned in the Korean release. After the first year release in the West, we feel great about the differences between the Korean and Western version of the game. That's what we read in the other article. Our policy is to stay as close as possible to the source material for Lost Ark, unless we feel there's a benefit to adjusting something for the Western version. Artist skins. Most of what we've changed, aside from localizing text, is game systems, where we felt an adjustment would make them feel more comfortable to the Western audience. There's some of that. That means minor adjustments to the monetization aspects of the game. Some of the game mechanics that we feel Western players adjust to the game, like Lost Ark. So, fucking legendary skins. Still want those, by the way. I think the Western release benefited greatly in general from the Korean version of Lost Ark, about how much polish Smilegate puts into the game content before it comes to our region. Lost Ark players in the West were able to benefit from years of refinement, improvement, content, and balance. That's pretty true in some spots. Is there a drive to bring over new classes to the worldwide servers at a faster rate? Are there plans to push to close the gap to eventual update parity, or are you happy with the differences in cadence between the versions? However, I can't say that we're planning to greatly reduce the gap between the Western build and the Korean build in our second year at live service compared to our first year. The speed of reducing the gap will be faster than what players expect, and new classes will be released at a faster pace than new content of Legion raids. We will soon have an official announcement that sheds more light on the positive news. When is this announcement? You son of a bitch. How are you going to do? Mr. Suman, help me out. When is this announcement? I want to know. Is it the April roadmap? Bro, is that actually copium? Is it female berserker summertime aeromancer in like a month? 2 months? There have been a number of improvements since release to both the general quality of life and speeding up the grind to move. This guy actually knows his question. Endgame tiers. What improvements is the team prioritizing as year 2 begins? Are there any particular areas you're hoping to address soon, or new players or new ways for players to catch up? It is true that the game enters its second year of live service. New users of the game can feel some pressure to catch up. Given the large amount of existing high-level content, we're continuously discussing this with Smilegate, and we'll soon have an announcement for an update that will allow new and returning players to catch up a bit faster, aside from the existing tools like Power Pass and Hyper Express, which will continue to be implemented. What is this copium article? Further, this Lost Ark is a real focus on its endgame content. How are you encouraging new players to pick up Lost Ark in its second year? Are there plans for more features like Punica passes and Hyper Express events to help newcomers catch up to speed quickly? Wait, isn't this exactly what he just answered? Or ways to encourage longtime players to help? Yes, this is a good one. This guy asked me these questions. Does this guy actually play the game? Or are these wait a minute. Or did Suman Park tell him to ask us these questions? Probably likely the second. As mentioned earlier, we will continue to build upon and expand tools like Power Pass and Hyper Express to ease the burden of new players coming to the... Yeah, we already answered this. And as mentioned before, we will soon have... Yes, guys asked the same... New players to share a new event on a... News to share on a new event that will allow new return players to catch up faster. We are always looking for new ways, along with Smilegate, to help onboarding process for new players, be that through items that accelerate progress through special events where new players can have access to important materials in advancing their characters. Okay, so he literally re-answered the exact same question and Donald this one. I don't think there's ever going to be a way. It's the way the game is designed. It's the downside to the game, boys. If the game is built like Corpa, no matter how nice of a person you are, it's very rare that you're going to be infinitely patient with a new player. It sucks. You know, you got to be a saint, and not everyone's willing to do that. It's just because there's a lot of pressure to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of pressure to get the stuff done that you want to get done. And until they take away that pressure, it's going to be hard to do that, you know? And the only way by doing that is reducing the amount of shit people have to do. That's it. The thing is, too, man, you have to reduce it. Like, I know people say rested exists, but people just don't do the rested, man. I think Mr. Mods had a good point. I was watching his stream, and it's actually facts, right? It's the way that we look at the game, but it's the game's fault for making you feel that way. For example, sometimes people will say no to overtime. Right? Why? Because they don't want to fucking do it. You know, I don't want to work, you know, hey man, can you come in on a Saturday? You're like, fuck, I don't want to go in on a Saturday. I want to enjoy my day off, right? That happens. How many of you guys have said no to coming in on an extra day? It happens, right? Like your boss calls you, okay, can you come in today, man? Someone called out. And you like say no, or you don't want to do it, right? But you're going to get paid more. It's the same thing as using the rested bonus. It's very similar to that. It's like you could work less, get paid less, or work more and get paid more, but sometimes you don't want to, right? The Witcher crossover was a really fun collaboration. How does the team feel that it went? And are you looking to do more projects in the future? Do we want to read that one? Ain't no way. Lost Ark has suffered quite a few issues in the recent months. Bugs and exploits that led to server downtime, stability issues that were causing disconnects in raids, and of course the issue with inactive player accounts being mistakenly banned. This was true, which was later reverted. What has the team learned from these to help smooth out and minimize such issues in the future? As with any live service game, there are some hiccups and things that need to be ironed out. Our first year with Lost Ark, we saw some growing pains, but one big positive to take away from these challenges is how well Smilegate and Amazon work together to remedy them for the community. I don't know about that one, man. I don't know. I think there were some really bad ones that you guys didn't handle right. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it a $1.50, man. I think you guys did okay on some, but some of them were just handled really bad. I think the Fion Gate one was handled really bad. I just think it was. Some issues have persisted, like the situation with the bots, but have improved over time. Smilegate and Amazon remain committed to improving on these issues for Lost Ark's second year to create best possible solutions to experience in the West. All right. Further to this, a lot of discussion around the compensation offered following such problems. What goes into determining the appropriate amount to hand out and who should get it? Everybody gets the compensation, and sometimes I think it's fucking, I don't know. I actually don't like the give me my free shit thing. I think it really makes this unhealthy, like, where's our free shit vibe? And I don't know. I actually think it's too much. I prefer sometimes for them to just be like, fuck you. That's just what I want sometimes. Because I do think players get out of hand, and maybe it's built up frustration, but I think some of the things is so whiny and too annoying to even listen to. Like, I can't stand it sometimes. I gotta be honest with you guys. I can't. Bots are one of the issues mentioned earlier that persist in the game to some degree, but not to some degree, but the situation has improved greatly from where it was last year. That is true. There used to be like 600,000 of them. With every tactic we deploy, we learn something new and we get better at getting bots under control, but solutions that work today won't necessarily work in a year or next week. Doesn't say that, but that's definitely true. And the evolving nature of the problem. It's a bit of a moving target, but both Smilegate and Amazon remain committed to be working for new players. I think you should do more bot ban waves. They definitely work. They definitely make an impact. And I think it's very clear when you're doing a bot ban wave, everybody notices it, the economy feels it. And I think you should do more bot ban waves. I think that even if they're not as big, do like consistent ones. And I still think to this day, man, you let them sit there by the fucking vendor. You let them sit there in the town. I know it sounds dumb as fuck, boys, but like if you just stand at tier 3, it's the finish line somewhat for a lot of these bot farmers. They shouldn't be there. And I still think the auction house, literally having people buying tier 1 accessories for $1 million gold still, how the fuck is that there? It's just I don't know. I can't give them credit for that. I really can't, man. Like, it's just feedback. Those shouldn't be there, bro. Like, you can see people doing it live in the game. You know what I mean? It's not being lazy. Everyone knows what it is. It's not being lazy. They don't want to ban people because it's not fucking like 100% proof, right? That's what it is. That's 100% what it is. It's not laziness. It's that, like, that's not evidence to them. That's what it is. Anyone would say that. But that's fucking evidence, man. And if some bozo accidentally buys an accessory, rip bozo. You know what I mean? Like, if you're dumb enough to buy $1 million because how do you know it's a bot? If you're dumb enough to buy that, then, okay, go through the unban process. You're dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But, like, it's dumb, dude. There's no buying an accessory for that much. It's clear, like, what you're doing. And the fact that they exist, ridiculous. What's the one feature update the team is most excited for players to see? There's some great content coming to the game this year, but I don't want to spoil it for fans. I encourage you to keep an eye on our Lost Ark website and social media channels for updates. Wow. I mean, this is the biggest copium article I've ever seen. I'm going to be honest with you. This is great, fantastic. It almost seems fake. Part of me still thinks it is fake. I mean, this is kind of what I've been told by them before, but the last roadmap did not look like this whatsoever at all. So I'm like, There's no reason they can't do it. There's literally no reason they can't do it. But I mean, I think I'm with everyone else, and it's like how I feel about it personally. I mean, if it's real, bro, like, that's fucking great for the game. Super excited about it. I want to believe it, but part of me thinks this. You know, I'm in a difficult place right now. You know, with this article, I don't know. It's fantastic, but part of me thinks this. You know, the TLDR, boys, is if it's true, it's an insanely. I mean, this is the best news I've literally ever heard in the game ever. That's what it is. That's how copage it is. If Suman Park comes through and delivers on what he's saying, he's the GOAT. He's the new Gold River. If he doesn't, it's despair mode. If Suman Park actually comes through what he's saying, it's goated. And I want to go personally give him a hug. Fix an interview with him after Artist? I don't know. I don't know if he would do that. I could ask. I could ask him. He's the guy that you want to hear from, right? Like, isn't this the guy that you all want to hear from? Because he actually knows what the fuck's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the guy that literally knows what's going on.